Welcome to the course Challenges and Opportunities of Datafication, Interdisciplinary Perspectives. This course was developed as part of a global classroom project between Leuphana University Lüneburg in Germany and Copenhagen Business School, Denmark. The Global Classroom project is funded by the state of Lower Saxony through its Innovation Plus funds, and we are grateful. My name is Hanna Trittin-Ulbrich and I'm an assistant professor for business ethics at Leuphana University of Lüneburg. Together with Nana Bonde-Tölsrup, associate professor for digital media and communication with a special focus on datafication at the Department of Management, Society and Communication at Copenhagen Business School, I am leading this class. This course comprises 8 classes on datafication, bringing together a group of scholars from various research fields studying various phenomena relating to the proliferation of data and digital technologies in and around organizations. All course material, including lectures, assignments, cases, and reading material, can be accessed on our webpage dataandorganizations.org and can be freely used. We have designed our own content, but also make use of other material readily available on the internet. We will also use this weblog to post regular updates on our teaching and research, so make sure to regularly check back with us. In the following, we will provide a first introduction to the core concept of datafication and why it is important in the study of organizations. Nana will start by explaining why datafication is a relevant topic to study.
We live in a world in which data and datafication brings about significant digital transformations in various fields of our lives. New industries bring fundamental digital transformations to how security agencies and law enforcement collect, store, access, and act upon data. Marketing technologies are constantly growing, up to a total of 8,000 marketing technology solutions in 2020, with a growth of new entries on the landscape making up 24.5%, which means that 1 in 5 of the solutions on this year's marketing technological landscape weren't present last year. And new government programs bring biometric solutions into their capacity building programs, such as the Indian program, which is Aadhaar, which is a biometric unique identity card with other information that is supposed to provide a unique digital record of each and every resident, not citizen, of India. Datafication is thus both a global and a national phenomenon, and it pops up in highly different areas of expertise, including welfare benefits, police work, health and security. Here we see a selection of Danish examples of how datafication transforms governmental and private services. And we even find datafication in our own institutions. Here is an example of one important educational technology, Canvas, which was sold through its ownership in structure last year, and which allows teachers to track student behavior.
Since the beginning of the pandemic, the video conferencing platform Zoom has dominated higher education, with many universities around the world adopting the technology as a temporary substitute for in-person instructions and classes. Also at Leuphana, the tool was quickly adopted to secure the teaching amid the lockdown in Germany in March 2020. It has also become a widely popular tool with private and political agencies, for example, for the European Commission. Yet concerns have been raised regarding the tool allowing administrators to track the interactions of Zoom meeting participants with the platform, a feature, I might add, that has been been removed over the summer, and the security of the software, most notably its encryption controls.
But big data has a much longer history. We thus find strands of automation and computation in data in everything from Galileo's classification tables of nature to the original mechanical Turk from where Amazon has drawn their name for their micro-platform M-Turk, to the Turing computers of the early 20th century. And we find datafication in popular culture too, as cultural imaginaries of what data is and what it can do. In everything from old classic films such as Minority Report to Moneyball, which brought big data as a significant moment in sports into the popular arena, and the more recent series Black Mirror, which deals with different aspects of digital transformations in everyday lives. So digital transformations are not new, but what's different now? Well, the pace and nature of tech innovations is significantly new. And with that, we also see a change in the increasing complexity of tasks that can be automated. We also see increasingly faster adoption of digital technologies and a higher percentage of jobs that are automated. This impacts both high and low workers. And it also means that technological change spreads more broadly through society. Let us turn to one concrete example of how datafication transforms how we engage with popular culture, namely Netflix. In Netflix, we see how datafication allows for personalization. So why does Netflix personalize? Well, it allows its consumers new ways of finding content to watch. It also maximizes consumer satisfaction, and it ensures consumer retention. What do they personalize in Netflix? They personalize everything from what they recommend to how they construct pages to which artwork to show, which means that everyone in this classroom or taking this course will perhaps be shown a very different interface for the same program. This also means that everything in Netflix is a recommendation. And they can see that over 80% of what people watch on Netflix is a direct result of their recommendations. What are the implications of this? Well, it means that we see new methods emerging that provide new insights. But it also means that we see new clashes between traditional and data-driven approaches in popular culture. So why does datafication matter for organizations then? Well, organizations are becoming increasingly data-driven, or at least they aspire to be. Many organizations are beginning to look into different ways of implementing technologies. Everything from deep learning to causality, but they also have to consider new forms of fairness. They have to consider how personalization is promoted and experienced. They opt for optimization and automation. All these initiatives pose challenges for leadership, strategy, human resources, employees, and marketing. Recent research has suggested that businesses globally are spending close to $40 billion annually on technology and services for data analytics, increasing by 12% each year. And yet, in a survey of executives at large corporations, 72% said they had yet to forge a data culture, and about half admitted they were not competing effectively on data and analytics.
Scholars from various fields of management and organization research, including strategic management, marketing, and consumer research, celebrate digital technologies for their capacities to create efficient ways of working and organizing. They see organizations as subjects or beneficiaries of datafication. Datafication helps to develop new products and services to address and influence users, consumers, clients, and broader publics. Mainstream research further underlines the benefits of collecting and analyzing data for corporate gains by leveraging data to enhance consumer experiences and to predict not only consumption patterns but behavioral patterns in society in general. The proliferation of digital technologies obviously also benefits other forms of organizations, including governmental organizations, non-governmental organizations, and other forms or hybrid, let's say social or hybrid organizations with various social and public good objectives. For example, digital technologies have been used by civil society groups such as the Human Rights Watch or Amnesty International to address human rights violations, by environmental groups such as the World Wildlife Fund to protect animal species and maintaining biodiversity, and by developmental organizations such as UNAID or to organize food production and distribution and fighting global hunger. However, it's important to note that organizations can also become the objects of datafication, meaning the targets, victims, or recipients. For example, in addition to concerns raised by Amazon's employees, civil society actors, and politically active citizens regarding Amazon's treatments of employees, many businesses have expressed concerns with Amazon's policies and practices on its platform. In line with more general concerns regarding Amazon's monopolistic power, many of Amazon's smaller suppliers often complain about Amazon's capacity to unilaterally decide their fate, giving their control of product search queries, rating systems, and dispute settlement mechanisms, and so forth. Also, largely powerful corporate actors such as Birkenstock have expressed their dismay at Amazon's unaccountable ways of doing business. Here, corporate organizations become, you could say, the victims of datafication. In other cases, it can be argued that datafication gives rise to new forms of civil society protest against established organizations, including private and public organizations, that these organizations then need to respond to. The digital activism challenges organizations in their ways of doing business.
This becomes even more significant in the era post-COVID, where we see increasingly data-driven accelerations. We see these accelerations follow three existing trends. They follow a deglobalization, unpicking the business world that grew up in the 2000s. We see an infusion of data-enabled services into ever more aspects of life, including work, education, public health, and money. And we see a consolidation of economic power into the hands of giant corporations, including, for instance, Jeff Bezos, owner of Amazon. As The Economist recently noted, one of the most obvious consequences of the current COVID-19 pandemic will thus be the infusion of data-enabled services into ever more aspects of life. And we expect digital transformations to be an even bigger imperative for organizations in the short-term future. Chief executives and corporate strategists are thus beginning to look to the post-COVID world to come. Optimists and business folk tend to look on the bright side, see this acceleration as offering new possibilities for reinvention and even resurrection. But pessimists see inefficiencies, insularities, and new ethical challenges weighing on profitability and responsibility for many years to come. Across the board, a common reaction from organizations tends to be panic. Panic that they haven't done enough with digital transformations already. This means especially that organizations, as they seek to accelerate digital transformations, have to consider rights and ethics, labor and automation, bias and inclusion, safety, and critical infrastructures. These four areas of contention also means that although many organizations are eager or impatient to start digital transformations, it is also wise to give full thought not only to which technologies to implement and how to do it, but also the long-term implications of these implementations. And that is what we will be spending our time on this course on, as we delve into new issues that emerge with datafication in a wide variety of fields.
On our weblog, you find various classes around the following topics: governance of and datafication, transparency and the digital prism, a lecture conducted by Mikkel Flickerboom from CBS Copenhagen, an introduction to platform economy by Thomas Gegenhuber, assistant professor at Leuphana University, and a lecture on power and resistance and a special introduction to algorithmic management by Armin Beverung, also assistant professor at Leuphana University. We also have a lecture on data flows and data behavior in social media based on the Social Dilemma movie on Netflix. And the data and sustainability section will delve into the environmental impact of datafication. And finally, we will talk about future directions of the digital and organizations, which hopefully provide you with a lot of food for thought for further research and teaching.